understand. Have you ever wondered what does it take for you to also become a startup investor? Well, get ready on board and let's go swimming. In today's episode, we're going to cover 5 key things that you should know in the pursuit to become a startup investor. First of all, let's talk about your attitude. Do you want to be passive or active? In life, we always say that your motivation really drives your attitude. And the same actually applies for investment. If your motivation is just to reap a financial return, with the right team, with the right management, you might be able to just contribute as a financial investor and touching base quarterly or even yearly. However, if you want to get into certain industry and contribute your knowledge to help the company grow, you need to take an active role. For example, in my recent panel, guest number 1 used to be a banker, now working in a startup. Therefore, she has a very great sense of how the market goes and also if the number makes sense. What she doesn't have is time. Therefore, being a passive investor suits her situation. However, guest number 2, working as an institutional investor and now also invests personally on the side. Therefore, with a deep technical knowledge, being an active investor allowed him to make decisions. With 10% of ownership, it gets him onto the supervisory board. And if he increases it to 20 to 25%, he even gets the veto right to call a stop for a company's decision. Therefore, ask yourself, how much time you have to contribute, how much money you are investing in there, and what is your motivation? So what should you look for in the company? Remember, you are investing in the startup, but what you're also investing in are the people and team behind the startup. This is especially true at the early stage, where there has not been much track record, and all your investment is really on this founder, hoping that he will deliver. And since in the startup space that a lot of transactions happen within personal network, make sure that you consult within your own network if we know this founder well enough and if he or she is trustworthy. Then, if you are a more business-minded person, think about the business model. First of all, is the company capturing the bigger market trend? For example, now we increase our digital engagement. Do you believe that the future of digital engagement will always have the visual, meaning that there will be a boost in the video service, such as Zoom? Or for collaboration, do you believe in that people will continue to use the traditional email or increase the real-time chat through Slack and different collaboration tools? Do more market research and that help you evaluate the business plan smarter. If you are the more technical driven person, then ask the founder, is there any intellectual property or is there pending patent? What about the competitive advantage? Make sure that this competitive advantage is not just for 1 or 2 months, but there's a potential sustainability that it goes for the next maybe 2 years, 2-3 years. Next, you want to establish your own KPIs, the key performance index, which help you quantify your understanding of the company. For early stage companies, that will be your market valuation. What's the quality of the business plan? How many customers do we have, or how many customers have we engaged? Remember, startup people can be very good sales. They will tell you, yeah, we get great interest from a lot of customers and we will have our first deal in a month. Do your due diligence. Sometimes that 1 month might turn into a quarter or even longer. Then for the later stage company, pre-IPO, at this time, the financial matrix will be available. So you want to make sure you understand what's their revenue model and if they're being profitable yet. Here are a few deal breakers that you should be aware of. Number one is that the vision of the company is set out of thin air. When we invest in the startup, we are investing in the dream. A dream that hopefully one day the founder will realize. However, it cannot be based on imagination, but through solid bottoms-up effort. One prominent example is gathering the customer feedback. If the company has not yet reached out to customer, don't understand what's the branding need in the market, how can they make a company that is successful and gather a wider market success? Then second thing is a lack of focus. Oftentimes startups pitch to you with their several quick wins, new initiatives that are exciting. However, ask yourself, based on the mission that the company wants to achieve, are these paving the way there, or they are becoming a distraction of the effort and resource? In terms of the impact on COVID-19 to startup investment field, according to my guest investors, there are two lenses that you can think of. On one side is on your existing investment. Given that startup investment is looking at a longer time frame, typically a few years' time, even though during COVID, some process slow down, activities pause, or even IPO is on hold. Compared with the public market, the stock market's roller coaster ride, it's still considered stable. Then on the other side is for opportunities on new investment in startup. Before the crisis, there was so much money that fight for a good deal. Now with the COVID, the overall pie is reduced, but it's not all gloom and doom. It does create opportunities for given sectors such as healthcare or medtech. Last, let's talk about your exit strategy. When we talk about startup investment, a lot of people have in mind is investing in the unicorn and then go into IPO. However, depends on the business model. Some companies are good for IPO and some are good for a sale. So make sure you have that discussion early on with the founder to understand what is his vision. And also, if you can, is it possible for you to get your cost back at a given time, given milestone, to de-risk? Finally, let's talk about how do you even get started? You have to think of your overall portfolio, how much money you want to dedicate to startup investment, because this is one of the riskiest investment out there. Even though if one of them is successful, you will have a higher return. You do have to invest in various companies to increase your chances. So make sure that you also allocate your investment across a few companies instead of just one single startup. And that is all for today. I hope you enjoy it and learn a thing or two. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment box and click on like or subscribe. I will see you next time.